Hi, I'm Steph from the BMW DIY Guy, and do you want to easily upgrade the audio in your BMW? I'll show you how. All right, y'all, so let's walk through this project a little bit and the reasons why I would highly recommend doing this yourself. Now, the X1 behind me is a fantastic car. It's really great. It's really practical. But it has the HiFi speakers, which are the entry-level speakers from BMW. And you guys know, as much as I love the brand, the HiFi speakers are terrible. There's no other way around it. You're gonna see that today as we pull different components out. They are not good at all. And in addition, if you have the HiFi version of the car rather than the Harmon Kardons, you're even missing speakers. So there's tweeters in the doors you won't have. There's a center channel you won't have. There's all these pieces that you don't get if you get the entry-level audio. And there is no reason in the world for you to keep it. If you like driving your car, you like good music, this is a fantastic upgrade that's going to take you past the HKs. If you've got the HiFi speakers and you're like, man, I really wish I had the Harmon Kardon, let's get better than those. I've upgraded many cars that have the HK or Harmon Kardon systems, and the Alpha Ones from Bimmertech are absolutely the way to go. They are fantastic speakers, both the speakers and underseat subs. I'm going to walk you through this process of how to do this upgrade. And don't forget, all the parts and pieces you need will be listed in the video description below, including the window trim. Because the X1 HiFi does not have the door tweeters here in the corners of the doors, there's an extra OEM piece of trim that you're going to need to order. It's not very expensive. It's really easy to install. I'll show you. And you can substantially upgrade your car. I cannot recommend this more highly. Make sure to check out all of my other Bimmertech Audio Alpha One videos. This same process is going to be very similar across other BMWs. Specifically the X1 in this case, but really could be used generically for them all. And all of them are worth this upgrade. This is the upgrade I do every time I get a BMW. And I'm not kidding, I really do. All right, so I'm gonna walk you through this whole process. I'll show you one front door, one back door, the center channel. I'll walk you through that because all the rest, anything that's duplicated, well, I'll just show you on one side. All right, so let's get started. Let's jump in. Let's get this process going. You get an opportunity here. Let's compare these. So here are the HiFi mids. Look at the size of the magnet on the back of that. That magnet is about the size of what you normally see on a tweeter. I love BMW, but man, these HiFi speakers are terrible. And look at the difference in the Alpha Ones. It's just night and day. And the tweeters are even more dramatic. If you see the HiFi tweeters, their magnet on the back is about the size of a dime. It's terrible. So this is the reason why we're doing this. We're upgrading to what the speakers should have been in the first place. And these are better than the HKs. So even if you had an HK car, I'd be telling you to replace these. I do all the time. Okay, but these HiFis, they're terrible. This is why we're taking them out. All right, y'all, so here is the driver's side door. I'm gonna walk you through this and taking your door card off. This is a lot easier than you think it is. It's really not a hard thing to do. And when I talk about the window trim, I've already replaced it in this car, and I'll walk you through it, and the part numbers will be listed in the video description. And I mean this piece right here. It wraps from this side all the way around to here, because if you have the HiFi, you do not have this piece right here, which you can tell because it says Harmon Kardon. This had a spare tweeter in it that I just happened to have while I was waiting to get my Alpha One systems. I installed these just to make up for it a little bit and try to piece together the really poor sound quality in this car overall with the HiFis. So we're gonna take the door card off. I'll show you how to take that trim off. So let's get started. So your door card is held on by a series of T20s. There's two underneath that you'll feel right here. You reach underneath, you'll feel the grooves for two of them, here and here, front and rear. So you'll want to take those out. Then you're gonna wanna take your handle trim off. What I usually do, I'll take a plastic trim tool, find the little notch here on the underside, get the tool in, and then twist. And then you'll get this lead edge that pops out right here. Now, if these have never been off before, these can be really stiff. And yeah, they're gonna make kind of popping noises as you go. And you're just gonna walk through and slowly walk this off like that. And it will get itself free of the handle just like that, because there are two additional screws here and here that we're gonna wanna pull out. Okay, so go ahead and pull out 1, 2, 3, 4 of those T20s, and I'm gonna walk you getting the rest of the door card off. All right, so once those four screws are out, 1, 2, 3, 4, your door card is just held on by a series of plastic pins that go into the metal all the way around the outside. So what I'll normally do is I'll take a plastic trim tool, get in here to a low edge on this side, normally in a place where you can't see it or see it very well. So you get that in, you can see the plastic trim tool is in, then you take a larger one and get in, use that to gap in, and then just pop it. Yeah, and this actually has a couple of broken rivets. So you just work your way around and you can just work your way up. And if you've never had a door card off before, it's gonna make popping noises and different things that you're not used to. That's not you breaking things, and those plastic rivets are coming out of the metal. Now, this particular car has had a couple of upgrades on it, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you just pop out across this lead edge, those go all in straight, then you lift up to get up and away over the door pin. So let me get this pulled out, and I'll show you what the cabling on the back looks like. All right, so once you pull the door card away from the door, you want to take the Bowden cable, pull it out of its clip, pull up and away, and then the Bowden cable will come loose. Now you also have your wiring harness on this side, and now this is going to look a little bit different than your average X1, and I'll explain that in a second. But you have your window switches right here, which is a little horseshoe. So you depress on the little tab, rock the gray collar back, and then this will come out. You can walk it off its clip right here, just like that. We've got another one up here at the top, and we've got another one here. The one here in the middle is a squeeze, and just gently wiggle, and it'll come loose. Pull this off this post right here, and then you can get up here to the top right here, little blue cable, take that and wiggle that free, okay? So now your door card is loose, you can take it and set it aside. Now don't be surprised that your car looks a little bit different, both inside and here as well. There's sound matting here on the inside. This is wavy foam sound matting. This is sound skins replacing the vapor barrier here on the door. Okay, so this will look a little bit different. You'll have the gray molded foam if you've never had your door card off before. This is to cut down on sound and cut down on road noise and make sound quality better. Okay, so just don't be surprised if your car looks a little bit different. Okay, so go ahead and take your door card, set it safely aside, and we're gonna be pulling the speakers next. All right, so you pull this off. There's a little plastic tab here on this side, so you're gonna pull up and pull. There's a little hook edge on this back edge, and this whole bow will come away from the glass itself all the way down to this corner where it's got another little post on this side. The new piece, we're going to fit the tweeter in. I'll show you what that looks like because I'm going to have to fit the new Alpha One tweeter in here. And you have your mid. You've got 1, 2, 3 T20s holding your mid in. You're going to want to unplug both. And in your case, with the HiFi system, you're only going to have one plug. You'll have two moving forward. I've got two because I borrowed a tweeter. Okay, so I'm going to take this out, and then I'm going to peel this back, and I'll show you replacing the tweeter next. All right, so this is what the back of this piece looks like. Obviously, mine is still in place, and there you can see these little clips where this clips into place to the plastic. If you pulled the original off, here's what the new one looks like. There's no reason why you couldn't put the tweeter in place, while it's off the car and then fit it all in. The tweeter's just going to snap in, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. There's just little tabs that just snap and hold it all into place. And then there is a foam cover that goes in over the top of that. You can see where the cable routes out and then routes down through the foam to come down here to connect to the mid. So I'm going to install the mid in all three places. The last thing you're also going to want to do is you have your original line from your head unit right here. These come with filters. So you're going to want to install the filter into the original line. This plugs into one side of those mid plugs. It doesn't matter which one. And then your tweeter will plug into the other. But let me get my tweeter in here. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so as you can see, the tweeter is in. I'm going to put the foam over the top of that. The cable will come out through the bottom of the foam and out through the bottom of the plastic, will work its way down and plug into the other side of the mid right here, which is just secured with those 3 screws. Really, really super simple. Like I said, this is an easy install. So go ahead and get this all secure. Go ahead and get this new trim back into place, fit it around the window edge and into these little clips, and that will be good to go. And then we're going to put the door card back on. One quick last look here before we put the door card back on. Make sure that the back edge of this is lipped around the plastic and it's got a good secure grip. The post is pressed in. All those little clips along that line are set. and the tab here on both ends, but the tab here is all locked in. You can see the cable comes down. Make sure both plugs are in really firmly. These are really deep plugs, so make sure that they're pushed in all the way. I've had that happen where I'm like, the tweeter's not working. Well, after the install's done, it's because the plug wasn't in all the way. Okay, so make sure that those are set completely, and then we're gonna put the door card back on. So basically just hold the door card up. You're going to plug all of your same wiring harnesses back in, the ones you just took off. And then the Bowden cable, this end, you'll see when you took it off, it just kind of hooks in and snaps down into the assembly on the door pull. Make sure to put it back in this little clip right here. I always test my door pull before I put my door card back on fully. So once you have this clipped back into place, pull on the door pull a couple of times to make sure that it's actually working. Your door card, you're just going to take it, you're going to fit it up and over the pin, kind of slot it all back down into place here. This top edge, if you just gently smack it back into place, this top edge will hold it as you put all the rest of the plugs in. Okay, I know that's a lot of information at once, so let me get my door card hung and I'll walk you through the rest. All right, so all the wiring harness is back in. The Bowden cable is clipped on. It's in this little hook. Just swing the pin up and guide it up through the door card. You want to make sure to not forget that point. And then just line it up really nicely underneath your trim right here, just like that. And then gently, just like that. So now the door card will hang by this upper edge and you can work your way around. Now the rest of those plastic clips, or the plastic posts, if you had any that were broken, this is a great time to fix them, right? They break really, really easily. So now you're just going to want to just take your hand and just work your way back around just like that. So I got one clip on this side that's sitting a little, there we go. Just like that. Okay, now it's back in. So then you just 1, 2, 3, 4, put those T20s back in, squeeze your door trim back on. It's got a little bit of a hook on one side. You're just going to take it and just press it back into place over your grip. And then this door is going to be done. We'll bounce back and do the back door next. All right, so the back door is going to be essentially the same. Get a plastic trim tool into the little gap right here, pry your cover off, take 1, 2, take the screws out. You've got one screw here in the bottom of the back door, so take the one screw out of the bottom, so you'll have 3 total. Okay, and then work your plastic trim tool here under the edge. Pry your door card off gently, rock it out, pull it off this upper edge and over the pin, and then I'll show you what that looks like. One key difference in the HiFi system is in the back doors, they don't have tweeters, so you're just going to be replacing the mid. So go ahead and unplug it from the main wiring harness right here, pull those 3 pins, put the filter back on, install the new mid. I'll show you what that looks like when it's done, but this is really simple. All right, so just like that, the new mid is in. Just plug your wiring harness back into your door card, your Bowden cable back into the door pull. Test it before you fully secure your door card. Hang it off this top edge, bang those lead edges in, and then put in those 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. Show you what it looks like when it's done, but it really is that simple. So at this point, you're a pro, so go ahead and get the other 2 doors done, passenger side, and then I'll show you what to do with the center channel. All right, so here is the center channel cover. I've already taken my plastic trim tool and gotten one corner up. I very gently get between the screen cover and the soft material of the center console. I always use plastic tools. I don't want to use metal to score this up. That would really suck. So go ahead and just work your way around. There's just a whole series of fingers that just hold it all in place just like that. Okay, so now in this case, this will look a little bit different than yours because, like I said, I did a temporary upgrade in this car. So this is actually an HK speaker and an HK tweeter. You will not have a tweeter in this case with the HiFi. So I'm going to take this out. You can see the shape. So there's a bell on this tweeter, so it's pointed outwards. So I'll take this out, but you normally won't have that. So just take out your mid, install the filter, install the mid, install your new tweeter that's going to go into this place, and then you should be good to go. All right, so you can see the new mid and tweeter in. Super easy install. This is that one tweeter that doesn't have the foam around the outside and the plugs are on the bottom. So plug that all in with the filter and you're good to go. You put the cover back on by just pressing those fingers back down into place. And now we're going to do the driver's side subwoofer that's underneath the seat. All right, so the seat is run all the way back right now. You can see exposed the front T50 bolts. There's one here, one on the track on the other side, and of course, matching in the rear. You can turn your ignition on and run your seat forward and back. To get to the back, so I just run the seat all the way forward and I can get to it really, really easily. And I also do not unplug the seat. So once I have those bolts out, I just tip the entire seat back to get to the cover right here. And with the X1, you could almost get to it, but you wouldn't be able to get the speaker out. You wouldn't be able to get the sub out, even if you could get the cover off, leaving the seat in place. Okay, so go ahead and take all 4 of these out. And then I just tip the seat back. Do not unplug it so you don't get an airbag warning, okay? All right, now that you got those 4 T20s out, you can take the cover off. You can see that your sub is exposed. And you're gonna wanna start peeling this carpet back because we're gonna need to peel it back far enough to get underneath. And that's just the trim popping up right here. What's that sound? Because there is the plug right here for the sub itself. And then there are T20s that hold it down in all the corners. This is where we're gonna end up with, you don't know what you're gonna end up with. Your sub is held down by one of 2 things. Either 4 T20s, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the far corners, and you can just work it out of the box it's sitting in, or it's glued into the box, and you won't know until you get here. I've seen same model, same year, the subs sometimes glued in, sometimes not. So we'll see what we've got once we get here. So let me peel the carpet back enough that we can get to those screws, and we'll see what we've got. Okay, so you get those 4 T20s out of the corner, and you get the secondary frame off that goes around it. And then when you peel back the carpet, and I might have a little bit of a shadow right now, you peel back the carpet, you'll see that there's a small Phillips screw here, 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 and here. So go ahead and take all 4 of those out, and if we get lucky, the subwoofer will lift straight out. If not, it's glued down to the box. So cross your fingers. All right, we got lucky. You can see it's already half sitting out. You just lift it up and out of the box that it's in. Let me get this out, then I'll show you the box container that it's in. So in case yours is glued down, you'll know what to do. All right, so if your sub will not come out, it's because it's glued all around these edges. If you look back here in the back here, there's 2 10mm nuts here and here. You pull those nuts off, and then you can pull this entire box will come out. Then what you're going to want to use is a heat gun and long, very thin screwdrivers. I find work really, really well. You heat up all the plastic around the outside edges and get a wedge. You can use pick tools. You can use flat screwdrivers to get in between the sub and the box. And given a little bit of time and patience and some heat, it will come right out. Then you put the box back in and put your new sub right back in, okay? So I'm gonna grab the new sub, I'll set it into place, I'll put the screws back in, I'll show you what that looks like, and then we're just putting it all back together. All right, so there's the new sub. I'll screw down on all those 4 corners, put that frame back over the top, put in the 4 T20s, tuck your carpet back down, put the cover back on, and then we'll tip the seat back into place. But I'll get the frame and the screen back on, and then I'll show you securing the seat. All right, so the screen's back in place, looks really, really good. Make sure that that cable was plugged in all the way. It's a deep plug. I've had once or twice doing sub installs where suddenly I realize when testing once I'm all done that one sub isn't working. And it's only because that plug was not snapped in all the way. So make sure you do that before you put that screen back on. All right, so go ahead and rock the seat back into place, and we're going to put those T50s back into the seat. All right, so for the front bolts, I usually will put the front ones in just down very, very lightly. I'll put them all the way in, but not snugged down. That will allow the seat to go all the way forward. And if I need to adjust the rails a little bit for the back bolts to make sure that they're in straight because these are not tight, I can make those a little bit of adjustment. Once they're all in, go ahead and torque all 4 bolts down. The torque value will be in the video description. If you haven't done it yet, which you probably haven't, jump over and do the other seat and do the other sub, and you're almost done. All right, y'all, all done, so go ahead and clean up, put your tools away. Make sure to test. That's the best part, really. And I tell you, coming from a HiFi system to the Alpha One system, there's no comparison, right? I threw in Queen Bohemian Rhapsody, just was in awe of the difference. I mean, the audio in this car previously was tinny. It didn't matter what you did with it. And even then I'd added a couple of additional speakers and it just was terrible. This is going to be better than any other BMW with an HK system in it. This is such a great upgrade. And if you have a HiFi, I don't know why you do this. If you have an HK, I don't know why you wouldn't do this upgrade. But this is a night and day difference. So please make sure to check that out. You can tell the install isn't hard. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a shout. And I also can be a source for Bimmertech gear as well. So make sure to reach out to me and I can help hook you up anywhere in the world, literally. And you can have this great sound system in your car too. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to click like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to my channel, and I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for Bimmertech for making such a fantastic product, and I'll see you on my next video.